You can put any kind of roof you want on this chicken coop. I got some metal roofing on the cheap, so that's what I'm using. There's going to be a fascia board that goes up inside this channel. So I've got a piece of scrap, one by there, representing the fascia board. I'm measuring over from that to the other side. The other fascia board comes out to about 63.5 inches, 161.5 centimeters. Figure out what you're going to do. This is what I got for the metal roof. There's my 63.5 inch measurement. You can see both of them there. Here's a detail. It's just a 2x4 with a 45-degree rip on the end. I use the scrap as filler in there. Same thing over here. I put a piece of plywood filler in each end on the end of the roost, so the chickens have a little something to stand on when they're getting in the nesting boxes. Here's the two ridge boards. Made them out of 2x8s. 63.5 inches long. Got the 45-degree angle on the inside. Here's some material around the nesting box I made from scrap to hold the nesting material in and hold the sides of the nesting box up. I've temporarily screwed the door ends in on the ends of the roof supports to help me place the ridge boards. Here's the roof assembled using the plywood pieces to support the ridge, and I put the end pieces in, the 2x4s. I'll take those piece of plywood off the end now. It would have been better if I'd waited to put in these pieces for the nesting boxes. I ended up having to notch it out there. Here's the finished roof. Here's a piece of flashing added in to make a gutter, essentially. You can see how I bent the corners on the roof and on the flashing to get the sharp edge away from poking anybody. Here's the nesting boxes. I just got some scrap plywood and screwed it to the side. Up on top here I screwed a piece of 2x2 in there for the latch. Here's the nesting boxes from the other side. Here's some 4-inch hinges that were regular strap hinges until I bent them to make them offset hinges. There it is installed. Here's a piece of 3/4 inch tube with one side cut off. Put a screw through it. Here's the door in place. Here's how you unlatch and latch. I've added handles and slide bolts on both sides. 2 latches are going to be better at securing the door than 1. Here's the open door. Here's some 5/16 rod that I bent by rolling a tire over it. I took the 5/16 inch rod that I rolled the tire over, cut it into 4 sections, took it down the composter, fitted all 4 of the openings with a semicircle of rod, cut bottom pieces, welded them in, got some 1/2 inch hardware cloth, trimmed it to fit, bent it around the back, and that's how I made 4 screens to cover the openings and keep the compost in the composter. Here's 2 feeders I made out of vanilla buckets that I got at a bakery. I cut the top off a shampoo bottle, cut it open, made 2 flanges that I riveted, cocked the top. It's held up about 1/2 inch off the bottom of the feeder so feed can go under the bottom. There's a right and left to accommodate the right and left side of the chicken coop. Here's a walkway I added so the chickens can get up into the apple orchard. I let them in the winter. There's the water. I'm using it to block the walkway off right now. I can also move it and open it up so you can get out. There's a needle valve that I have slowly dripping to fill it at about the rate that they empty it. Here's a chute that goes in the upper yard. I can put compostable materials in there. There's the 2 feeders in place. There's the arches covered with screen. Those will go in behind the rebar. The rebar comes out simply by lifting it up. I won't be able to put those in until I add some composting materials inside to press out on the screen with the rebars on the outside of it. Here's a sprinkler I added on to moisten the compost once a day when the watering system turns on. Here's a temporary shelf I screwed in for the chickens to jump up onto so they can get up into the upper coop, up into the nesting and roosting area. There's the door out to the water. I'll unscrew that shelf when the composter gets full enough for the chickens to be able to jump up from the compost itself. Quick summary, the chicken coop composter should last a long time. Houses chickens. Up above you've got the nesting and roosting area and feed. Down below you've got the composting compartment with openings to remove the finished compost. I just finished making this. It'll take a year for it to start to fill up with compost and have finished compost done. Hopefully this video will be useful to a lot of people. This is really just a starting point. I'm sure there's a lot of ways to improve this composter. The concept is sound, so there's a lot of directions you could go from here. Good luck.